Hi, and welcome to Stressed, the podcast to develop your stress resilience. Being ambitious and successful while living a happy life is possible. Learn how you can better cope with stress in day-to-day situations by applying tools and techniques that work for you. My name is Julia Arndt, and I'm extremely grateful that you decided to check out my podcast today. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to Stressed, the podcast to develop your stress resilience. My name is Julia Arndt, and I'm really excited that you are here today listening to today's podcast episode on 5 steps to creating awareness when you want to start making changes in your life. For those of you that are watching my YouTube video, you might be wondering where I am currently located, because I'm not in my bedroom where I'm usually recording my podcast episodes, but I am sitting in my friend Erica's apartment in San Diego, where I have been over the last 5 days attending a 5-day advanced coaching training. And I'm super excited, super inspired. It's really early on a Sunday morning, and I really wanted to make sure to get the podcast episode in before Monday. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk with you today about 5 steps to creating awareness, because I've been really inspired by this topic, both from obviously getting more input from a coaching perspective, but at the same time having a couple of challenges over the last couple of days here being in San Diego with my back. I've been having a couple of back issues and back pain already since a few weeks, and I want to tell you a little bit more about what back issues have to do with stress management and with creating awareness to making changes in your life. And maybe I should tell you a little bit more about why I have back issues, because you might be wondering. And this is not the first time that I have back pain. I've actually had a lot of back issues last summer as well, when I was still working for Google. And back then I was commuting on a daily basis from home to the office with my bike. I biked around 15 miles per day, and I started to have a lot of back issues. So I went to the chiropractor, and he helped me a little bit. And, obviously I was rolling, and I did a lot of things that you do when you're having back issues. And he said to me that I really need to start lifting weights again and going to the gym to really strengthen my muscles instead of just doing yoga, because he said to me that's not enough. And it's really funny, and I'm smiling about this because I should know better, because I have a gym instructor certification. I have lifted weights for many years, and I really, really enjoy and love it. And I also have a yoga teacher training certification. So I really know why it is important to do both, and why it is important that you're strengthening your muscles in a different way and that you're not just stretching them, even though, as many of you know who are doing yoga is also not just about stretching, it's also a lot of core work. But anyway, this is kind of sidetracking me. It is really important that you're listening to the signals of your body, basically, right? So last year when I went to the chiropractor, you know how it often is that you're going there and you're finally feeling better, and after a week or two, when the pain is not acute anymore, you just kind of stop thinking about it, and you're just going back to your normal habitual patterns, and you probably don't start working out. And that's what happened to me. I was really busy last summer. I went obviously through a lot of different changes in my life as well. So I still didn't go to the gym, and I still didn't, make sure to strengthen my back, which is kind of a family thing. A lot of us have like back issues, lower back issues, and back pain. And so this time around 3 weeks ago, I was working out for the first time in a while, and I hurt my back. I could tell after the exercise that my lower back started to hurt a lot. And the same spot as last year. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, it's been a year that I've been thinking about making changes in my life, and thinking about really going back to the gym and taking care of myself, and obviously in a way, for me at least, managing my stress, because I really love, as I mentioned, going to the gym, and that's definitely one way for me to manage my stress. So over the last 4 days, sitting in our school and sitting in a chair for 10 hours at a time, I was really struggling. So that obviously sat with me a while, that topic. And I was thinking about how we are not making changes in our life when things are unfortunately not really urgent, right? So we might be kind of avoiding or ignoring the signals that we are getting from our bodies for a really long time until we're actually starting to think about what we should be doing in order to be better. And I see that all the time as well when I'm working with my clients, because usually I'm working with clients that are already experiencing the negative effects of stress. And that always makes me a little bit sad. I totally understand, because I'm also a human being and I'm also doing my own mistakes. Here I am sitting with my back issues, right? But one of my biggest visions and mission for my business and for stress management is really to educate people about the importance of being preventive in your stress management instead of reactive. It's really, really important. So this is why I'm doing the podcast episode today. I hope this is going to be inspiring for you to start making a couple of changes in your life and start listening to the little signals that your body is giving you. And here is a fact for you. We are actually receiving around 15,000 signals a day from our body of how we are feeling. And so often, as you maybe know for yourself, we don't really listen to those signals, and we are not even really aware of what is going on. And so they say that if you like get a couple of signals from your body a day, you might check and realize 3 to 5. And if you're really in tune with your body, you might be getting 10 to 15 signals, which is still just really, is such a small part of 15,000 signals that your body is sending you on a daily basis. And we're only paying attention when it is already really acute and our body kind of tells us, hey, this is enough. You really need to start taking care of yourself. And so this is what I'm experiencing at the moment. I'm really thinking to myself, because now I'm in a lot of pain, and I don't just feel the back pain and the back issues in my lower back, but I feel it in my glutes, I feel it in my hamstrings, I can feel it a little bit everywhere. And I'm going to bed every night and I can feel the pain in my body. And it really made me upset this week in a way that I was thinking, why just didn't I start taking care of myself earlier and not having it come to this, right? So I was really inspired to record this podcast episode with you to talk about how you can start creating awareness. And this obviously doesn't just apply to back pain and back issues, and health issues in general, right? But it applies to a lot of other categories, such as work conflicts or relationship conflicts, or any other conflicts or any things or issues that might be going on at the moment in your life, because we have the tendency that if something is uncomfortable, the first natural reaction, and I'm not blaming anyone to do this, as I said, because I'm a human being as well, and I'm just doing the same thing. The first kind of natural tendency is to, as we nicely say, to sweep it under the rug. So at the moment, we don't really want to look at it because it's uncomfortable and it requires time and effort. And so instead of kind of looking at it and paying attention to it, we might be avoiding it and ignoring it. And as I said, putting it under the rug a little bit and hiding it away until it becomes more and more acute and more important, and we cannot ignore it any longer. And so today I hope that you will be a little bit inspired to start looking at something that you might be thinking about right now, and where you will think, oh, like, I know exactly what Julia is talking about, and I have maybe this conflict with another person, or this thing at work that I've been meaning to do for a really long time, but I really just pushed it away for a while. So here it is. We are creating awareness just by talking about the subject. So the first step to creating awareness and to making changes in your life, to start looking at it and to start listening to your body and to your mind as well. And some of you might be wondering now, well, how do you do that? And it's really to create a little bit of space and create a little bit of time in your life in order to be more observant of what is actually going on, right? So this might be, for example, by creating an evening routine. I really love evening routines and rituals as well, where I'm really cognizant of switching off my phone maybe 30 to 60 minutes before I go to bed, and just kind of taking time for myself and thinking about the day and thinking about what happened. You could be journaling as well. Some of you might be meditating or doing some breathing techniques to connect with your body and mind. That's totally up to you, right? But first of all, we need to create some space in order to have time to do that and start looking at things that are going on in our life and being honest with ourselves as well, right? So creating awareness is the first most important thing. And when you're creating awareness, you might be now thinking of something that is going on in your life. In my here I am sitting with my back issues, so this is kind of what I have created awareness around, and that I really, really want to change in my life, because it doesn't make me happy. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I've been traveling a lot over the last week, and I still have to travel a lot over the next couple of weeks as well. And there's nothing worse to sit on an airplane for a couple of hours and being very uncomfortable because your back hurts. So step number one is creating awareness. And when you are creating awareness, it is really good to ask you a couple of questions to really understand why it is important to create awareness and also to make a change in your life about that specific topic. And the questions that you can ask yourself in this respect are, for example, what is it costing you to stay in your habitual behavior? And obviously, for me, this means that I'm sitting here right now with back pain and back issues, and I could have probably prevented that when last year, when I had this the first time, I would have started to take care of myself and create a new routine about getting back into the gym and working out. So this is really something that I'm taking away for me, because this is really costing me right now, right? I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm feeling in pain, and that obviously has some effects on my mood as well. And I don't want to feel this way, right? It's not fun when you're feeling, when you're having issues. And this is probably the same for you as well about the topic that you might be thinking about right now. So what is it costing you to stay in the current setting that you have? What is it costing you? And the next big step when you are creating awareness is to ask yourself, what is your motivation to change? And it is really important to deeply connect to that motivation, because the bigger the motivation, the more likely it is that you make changes in your life. And for me, it is to be healthy and happy, right? Because I love feeling fit and healthy in my body, and feeling the way I am doing right now is not really fun. And obviously, I'm 33 years old, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to just cope with this all my life. I want to enjoy my life, and I don't want to be worried about sitting in the right posture, or being worried about if I have to sit on an airplane for 6 hours of how I'm feeling. There's a lot of other things going on in my life, and I don't want to really spend time on that stuff. So what is your motivation to change? Really, really important. And finally, the last question that you should definitely ask yourself when you're creating awareness around the issue is, what is it costing me not to change? And those are really three powerful questions around making changes and creating awareness in your life. Because when you think about what it is costing you not to change, well, for me, it is costing me a lot, right? Because it's not going to get better from here. It's probably just going to get worse if I'm not taking care of myself. And so I'm really connected now to my motivation to make changes in my life and to take care of myself. And so Once you have answered these questions, I'm just going to repeat those three, and feel free to take a piece of paper right now and write these three questions down and really answer them for yourself. So number one is, what is it costing you to stay in your habitual behavior? Number two, what is your motivation to change? And number three, what would it cost you if you would not make that change? And so once you have these answers, I hope that now you're super motivated to make changes in your life. And then the second step is really to make peace with where you are right now, right? Because you can't change your current situation. This is just how it is. And as annoying as it is, and as you know, you might be beating yourself up for the situation that you have created, that's fine. Make peace with it, because we are in the present moment, and the only thing that you can change and that you can influence is the future. You can't change the past. So what happened, happened, and now the only thing of how you can make changes in your life is to look forward. Because we are oftentimes, especially when we're talking about stress management and also about mental health, we are oftentimes getting into those thought spirals, and we're having all these negative thoughts, and we might be beating ourselves up and having negative self-talk as well about something that we haven't done. Well, listen to me. Like, it's okay that you have done this. We are all human beings, and there's just so many things sometimes happening in our lives, and now we are moving on from that. So make peace with where you are right now, and accept that today you have decided that you want to make changes in your life, and that's amazing. So here we are looking at step number 3. What do you want to change? So it is really important to set goals, and to be really clear about what do I need to do in order to start making changes. And for me, it really is about obviously taking care of myself, going back into the gym, and finding a routine that I can really stick to. And when we're talking about setting new goals, it is really important that these goals are realistic and small goals. I'm not expecting of myself that I'm going to start going to the gym now 5 times a week. That's super unrealistic, especially because currently I'm in back pain. And when I'm going to the gym 5 times a week, it's not going to make it better. It's making it probably worse. So my goal, really, my long-term goal is that I will be going back to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. But my short-term goal is to obviously start feeling better, and to take care of myself. And so I booked a chiropractor appointment for tomorrow when I'm back in Tahoe. And I've been also rolling a lot. There's either foam rollers, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that kind of goes into the fascia of your muscles. And I also bought a softball, for those of you that are familiar with softball. It's similar to baseball, but it's a slightly bigger ball. And they're pretty hard, and it's really, for me, it's really a self-massage tool that I've been using for my back over the last couple of days, and it's been amazing. I'm so grateful that I have the softball with me, because I can sit on it, or I can put it in the back when I'm sitting in a seat, and I can kind of just massage my back. And so yeah, so I've been really taking care of stretching, rolling, kind of getting into that back area that has been getting really tight and really aggravated over the last couple of weeks. I have a chiropractor appointment. I'm really motivated to go to the gym next week, maybe once, and maybe for some walks or maybe a yoga class. But yeah, I'm really listening to my body, and I'm being careful, and at the same time I'm trying to find a good balance between pushing myself a little bit and making sure that I'm getting better, and at the same time not pushing myself too much to just make it worse, and then completely, then won't be able to go to the gym or do anything because the back issues are just too bad. So yeah, so when you are setting goals, make sure that they are really realistic, especially at the beginning. And and because what we want to create is a small success. And once you see the success, and and you feel the benefits of that success, then it will be a lot easier for you to keep going. So that is why we're setting goals. Step number 4 is to get into action. So now we want to try things out, and it is really important that you have a certain flexibility when we're speaking about creating awareness and making changes, because especially if you're a type A personality, so you're super structured and you're really going after your goals and going after all of the things that you set your mind to, which is really awesome. We sometimes miss a little bit of flexibility and really, again, listening to our bodies or listening to what is really going on and being honest with ourselves. So when you get into action, try things out, test it out, and see if what you have set up for yourself as a goal is really working for you, or if it is not. And it is okay if it is not working for you, Sometimes we really need to test certain things out in order to see what works and what doesn't work. So test it out, get into action. And the final step of creating changes is to get support or an accountability buddy that really holds you a little bit accountable for the new goal that you have set, and that reminds you in a very sweet and nice way about what you set your goal to, and helping you to get there. And that can be done obviously by a coach like me, but it can be very easily done as well by friends, by family members. I am telling you my story and my goal right now. So you are all going to be my accountability buddies over the next couple of weeks around if I am sticking to my plan, if I'm taking care of myself, if I'm making sure to really heal my back and then go back into the gym and strengthen my back muscles in order to really avoid getting there again. Because it's summertime and I just really don't feel like, feeling bad, right? It's not a really fun feeling. So as I said, I know that today I've been really evolving around my own topic of the back issues. It's a health issue. So no matter what type of health issue you have, you can apply those 5 steps as well and ask yourself a couple of really powerful questions to make sure that you're really connecting to your motivation of what is it costing you if you're not making any changes in your life. And it's not really limited to health issues only. But as I said, also to work conflicts or relationship issues, whatever it is that's going on in your life, we need to start looking at that. So I hope that at this point, you're thinking of something that you would like to change in your life, and where you are now being a little bit more honest with yourself, and you're thinking to yourself, I really need to start making changes in that area. Maybe it's not too late yet. Maybe you don't have back issues and back pain like me. Maybe there's something small that's going on where you are now thinking, oh shit, maybe I should start looking at that and starting making changes in my life. So if you do, I would love to hear from you as always. I'm here for you. I am your accountability buddy if you want to. And you can text me on my YouTube video, you can just leave a comment, or you can come over to my Instagram account at Blue Mountain Mindfulness. I'm always posting every week one post about the podcast. So if you are curious to exchange with other people in the community, come over there and share with us what you want to change in your life, what you have just created awareness around, and we will be there for you to hold you accountable. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I talk to you really soon. With gratitude, Julia.
If you enjoyed this episode, I would be extremely happy and grateful if you could leave me a comment and a 5-star rating. If you know someone who would benefit from the information I talked about today, please feel free to share it with them, no matter if it is your friends, your colleagues, and/or your family members. You will always find all links and a summary of the podcast in the show notes. It would be great if we could connect on Instagram or via email. You can find all details of how to find me in the show notes as well. In that way, you can also send me any questions that you might have. And as I mentioned, I also have a wonderful YouTube channel now where you can post comments and questions, so please reach out. I'm glad you're listening to this podcast. Thank you so much for your trust. With gratitude, Julia.